Hello there, we are your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. Hello, this is Joy News Prime with me, Blessed Suga. Our lead story this hour, Office of the Special Prosecutor searches the home of Cecilia Dapaah after 4 hours of interrogation. We have the latest incident and that includes all of the action at the Office of the Special Prosecutor earlier today. Meanwhile, some members of parliament are demanding more than just an arrest of the embattled former sanitation minister, Cecilia Dapaah.
As a prosecutor, he should act swiftly by ensuring that the accounts of the woman is frozen and that her house is also ransacked so that we know exactly what is going on.
Ghanaians expect agility from.
And that's our special package for tonight. We'll bring you sports and business, but it's time now to bring you a breaking story because the Office of the Special Prosecutor and some assigns from that office have been searching the home of the embattled former sanitation minister, Cecilia Dapaah. We can cross over now to her residence where we understand a lot of action has taken place in the last few hours. My colleague James Aveji is there for us live and is joining us with the latest. James, what can you report from where you are?
Blessed. So just about a minute ago, the officers from the Office of the Special Prosecutor whisked away in their security vehicles. We know that in the afternoon at about 3:30, 4 p.m., the minister, after about 4 hours of interrogation at the Office of the Special Prosecutor, was released to personnel to search her two residents, which are the cantonment official residency as well as her private residency here in Abelemkpe. And so that search had been ongoing for the.
And we seem to be having some challenges there, but we'll reconnect with my colleague James Aveji shortly. But it's just a prelude of what's about to come here on Joy News Prime. Also, we're looking at the autopsy report that is revealing that a 32-year-old man who was allegedly killed by police on Sunday died as a result of the massive blood clot that was found in his abdominal cavity.
And
don't forget that we also have business and sports coming up. Beverly, what do we have coming up in business?
Total mobile money transactions hit 859 billion cedis in the first half of this year.
And Gary's here with sports by 8:15, correct?
Correct. And at that time, we'll be telling you how John Pentil is giving the thumbs up to Asante Kotoko for giving Prosper Nate Ogum the job back.
And we are on the lookout for that. We are your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. This is Joy News Prime.
News Prime.
My name is Blessed Suga, and tonight we're starting off with the controversial matter that's occupied discussions across the nation. The Office of the Special Prosecutor searching the residence of a former sanitation minister, Cecilia Dapaah, after 4 hours of interrogation this afternoon. The former minister has been placed under arrest and investigation for corruption and corruption-related offences regarding some money and items allegedly stolen from her Abelemkpe residence. After over 4 hours of interrogation, security officials at the Office of the Special Prosecutor, of course, whisked her, and I mean Cecilia Dapaah, away to search both her cantonment and official residency at Abelemkpe here in Accra. We'll get you the latest on that shortly. But first, here's a wrap of what transpired at the Office of the Special Prosecutor earlier today.
So what is happening is that we have the official vehicles coming out of the Office of the Special Prosecutor. It's unclear whether this vehicle is carrying the former Minister for Water and Sanitation, but what we do know is that officers will be escorting her to her residence at Abelemkpe, and of course, so those are the vehicles you are seeing right now. These are the vehicles that are going to inspect the premises of the former minister at her home at Abelemkpe and of course cantonment. And this is part of their investigation to really establish what is happening. So, black vehicles, occupants are security agencies and some officers of the OSP. My information is that also in the vehicle are the former Minister for Sanitation, Cecilia Dapaah, and of course her husband and lawyers, as we have been told, and they are heading towards their home at Cantonment and of course Ablimpe. And this is part of their ongoing investigation to establish where the money may have come from, the stolen money, and then to also establish whether there is a case for her to answer. So the search will be conducted at the Ablimpe home and of course at Cantonment Blazer. So a while ago you saw the vehicles exit the office of the Special Prosecutor.
Fortunately, Elton is back with us on the telephone lines now. Elton, I recall speaking to you moments after the assigned officials from the Office of the Special Prosecutor engaged or whisked away the embattled Cecilia Dapaah to two of her known places of abode. What more transpired after she was taken away?
Arrest. But what is unclear for now is whether she will formally be charged and then the legal will kick in court. That is information that we have. We do know that during the 4-hour interrogation, she provided or she responded to all the questions that were asked of her. She was there with her lawyer and, of course, the husband, but from what I'm being told, the focus was on her. The Special Prosecutor's officers, they may bring in the husband if they are minded to, but for now, the focus is on the former minister. And they are looking at corruption and corruption-related charges. They are looking at the source of the money. They are looking at whether the money belongs to her or belongs to another person. What I've picked from my source at the office is that she is believed to have said that part of it came from donations she received for her mother's funeral, and of course, all the money, part of it also belongs to other people, and that brought in the elements of other people that may be of interest. So going forward, the OSP may expand the investigation to include some close family members of the former minister. So in tomorrow, hopefully, they may come to a decision whether to charge her, and then that will inform their going forward.
Elton will be giving us the latest on that, but we have some updates for you, specifically from the residents at Ablimpe, because after Cantonment, that was the next stop for the search party from the Office of the Special Prosecutor. My colleague James Aveji joining us live from the Ablimpe residency now. James, what else do we know about what's happening there?
All right, Blessed. So, as you can see behind me, this is where the second search actually took place. We know that when they left the Office of the Special Prosecutor, the first place they went to was her official residency in Cantonment, and then they conducted a search there. After that, the team came to Ablimpe here, where the second search actually happened. About some 7-10 minutes ago, the team actually left the residency. The team comprising security personnel, police, as well as armed military persons. They were here, including some persons we believe were her lawyers. And so those were the people who were here just some 10 minutes ago. And so after that search was conducted, they came out into the official vehicles and then sped off. What we do not know is whether Madam Cecilia Dapaah is still with personnel of the Office of the Special Prosecutor or she's in the house. That we are not clear about. But what we know is that the two search that the Office of the Special Prosecutor has initiated has come to an end just some few minutes ago. And so that's what we know here. And so that's what we know here.
Right.
And so that has been concluded, and so we are expecting that by tomorrow we would hear exactly what the outcome of the search may be. We may hear something from the Office of the Special Prosecutor, but as far as we are concerned, the search is over now. Now, when we got here, I tried to have an interaction with some of the residents. I interacted with a gentleman, and my question was, as neighbors of the minister, whether they are surprised about the development. What he tells me is two things. One is that she's not someone they know. They know that a minister lives here. They know that she lives here, but she's not someone who is around. They know her to interact with people around, and so they do not really have that intimacy with her as a minister and a constituent. And so on that page, that's what they tell me. But as to whether they are surprised about the whole scandal, the gentleman tells me that they are not too surprised about that, because some of these things happens to persons who are of government officials, and so they are not too surprised. You sense this kind of they do not really care about what is happening. They do not have the feeling of sympathy, and they do not have any sense of that. And so, as far as they are concerned, it sounds like a stranger whose news has come to the residency. Right. No sense of sympathy for her or any sense of belonging to relating to this. And so that's what we are picking. And so the search here is concluded. We do not know what they have found.
I see. My colleague James Aveji joining us from the Belingwe resident of the former sanitation minister, Cecilia Dapaah, and that's the very spot where the cash was allegedly stolen. It's subject to determination in court, but it's a good time now to establish this conversation about reforms and how we could possibly fight corruption if there is indeed any dent of it in this matter. And that's why I want to bring in Daniel Yao-Domelfo. He's a former Auditor General, joining us via Zoom now. Thank you, sir, for spending some time with us here on Joy News Prime. I recall in 2017, for instance, you described our asset declaration regime as, quote, a complete joke. And you were making this statement at a roundtable when, of course, the IEA decided to host you. But looking back at what's happening now, I guess it's a good time to have that conversation again. What do you think about what's happening now?
Thank you very much for having me. Let me be honest with you. The asset declaration system we have in Ghana leaves a lot to be desired. And this Honorable Cecilia Dapaah's case, I've not followed it much. I've read bits and pieces. I'm not in the country anyway, so I don't know the details of it. But the truth about asset declaration system in Ghana is that it helps conceal assets more than declaring it. Because if one is supposed to declare assets, I don't think that requires filling a piece of paper and giving that to the Auditor General. You must show the assets and the liabilities or evidence thereof to the Auditor General, and I think it must be verified. And according to Article 286 of the Constitution, specifically Clause 4, if assets identified or declared later on compared to what you declared earlier on, the difference cannot be explained by your salaries or gift or any form of legitimate source of receiving or income, then that should be declared as an illegal or unconstitutional acquisition. So to be able to do that, I think the law must go a little bit further than what it is now. Because Auditor General is not God. It is the people who help the Auditor General to know whether the declaration is complete or not. So there must be publication of the assets and liabilities that have been declared. Again, if you read the PFM law on asset declaration before the Constitution, it had specific provisions that within 2 weeks of declaration, the declaration must be published for Ghanaians to see. But the Constitution has watered it down And at 550 has equally watered it down, said that there is no publication required of the Auditor General anymore. Therefore, people can just declare their assets in anticipation of the two bedroom or the 3-bedroom that he is thinking of putting on a certain plot. He can just declare it even at the time he is taking the public office. So if by the time he is leaving office, he says he has a 3-bedroom house, if you pick the two declarations, you see that they are the same. But the truth of the matter, which I have advocated all this while, is that asset declaration is a good control and a good measure. Ghanaians may have to do it better than what it is now. And in addition, we should introduce lifestyle audits to find out. For instance, in this case, I am not saying anything about the madam, whether she stole the money or she earned it genuinely. But that is subject to investigation. Investigation will prove that. But then, if you have such amount of money, if you multiply her salary for even 8 years, which he has not yet served as a minister, it will not be up to half of that amount we are mentioning. Therefore, there is the need for her to explain to maybe the special prosecutor, since I'm told he is investigating, how those monies were received. And if it's the genuine source of income, then there's no problem.
I was just about asking you about the connections persons are drawing to, for instance, some of the findings in the COVID-19 audit. But just before that, I recall that this is a minister that submitted, or you can prove me wrong if that's not the case, her assets to you at the time you were the Auditor General. We know that because of your vows, you may not be able to disclose the content. But what traits do you see about whether or not she indeed declared, and what do you find common in the, modus operandi of the political class when it comes to their declaration of assets?
Well, I don't even recall whether she declared or she did not declare, because the people are plenty. So I'll not remember whether she's one of those who complied or one of the defaulters. But to me, the declaration, which I refer to as a joke, remains a joke. Because if they say I should declare my vehicle to you, it means I should show the vehicle to you. Is that not it? At least, or at the minimum, I should show you the title, the document which entitles me to the vehicle. But that is not what we do in Ghana. What we do is just take a form from the Auditor General, complete it, and bring it to the Auditor General to say, this is my declaration. So I think we may have to go a step further to say that Auditor General or whoever should go and verify those assets to be sure that you have those assets. For instance, if it is a piece of land or a building, you should have the title document, same as other movable chattels or cars and etc. You should have evidence to support that they are yours. If not, then we are just joking. So that is how the declaration has been done, and I don't think it is effective. It must be reviewed. Unfortunately, before I came to office, there was Public Office Holders Bill, which is supposed to introduce some reforms into this. And that bill has not seen the light of day up to today, because the people who are affected by this law includes those who are making the law. So there's a conflict of interest here, and it has not moved for all this.
And very finally, we know that some are drawing the links to the COVID-19 infractions, which Cecilia Dapaah then was serving as Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation. Your successor, the Auditor General, pointing out that some individuals were taking advantage of the COVID-19 pandemic. Given what's coming up now, about $1 million being kept in a minister's house, do you feel that your successor, the Audit Service, by extension, should also establish some sort of a probe into this?
Well, if I had established that people had taken advantage of the COVID and taken monies unduly, I think I would have proved it a bit further. But Article 187 Clause 7A provides that the Auditor General, in the performance of his duties under the Constitution or any other law of the country, is not under the direction and control of anybody. So I will not put myself in a situation where I would like to direct or control the way he does his audit.
Okay.
That is his professional judgment that he has used.
Right.
But drawing the linkage is too early. It requires investigation to establish that maybe it is from that money or from another source. It could be a genuine. But the fact that such a huge sum of money is kept at in the house is a bit disturbing, though.
Right, Mr. Domelevo, we have to round off. I'll give you just a minute. What do you have to say in connection with this when it comes to the fight against corruption as a country?
Well, it doesn't give us a good image. People who have seen it outside the country, they ask me, is that how your ministers handle money? Is that how they handle Ghana money? People have jumped into conclusion that these monies are public funds that have been stolen. So I think we may all have to try our best and keep our monies in the bank. Unfortunately, the banks in Ghana are also not giving us the necessary comfort to put our monies there. Because if you put your monies there and you are told that there is a haircut, or I even say to people, it's not only a haircut, but there's also a headcut happening in terms of the investment you make with your money. People feel uncomfortable to put their monies there, but still it's better than keeping huge sums in the house. It can invite a lot of problems for us, including, you see, this one, it was stolen by domestic servant or people who are with her. If this information had leaked to armed robbers and they were going to attack her, we may end up hearing bad news that they went and maybe killed or do whatever and took the money away. So I think this is something which public officers or officials should desist from.
And I'm grateful so much that you're spending some time with us after a hectic day today. Daniel Domelevo, former Auditor General. Some minority MPs are also demanding more than just an arrest of the embattled former Sanitation Minister, Cecilia Dapaah. The special prosecutor placed the former minister under arrest this morning following the controversies about the millions stolen from her private residence, which has forced her to resign. Speaking to Joy News, the NDC MPs cautioned the special prosecutor to be wary of potential interferences from the president. They also want Cecilia Dapaah's account to be frozen. Listen to MP for Busa South, Dr. Clement Apak, and also MP for Bolibompo express their concerns about the matter.
Given the circumstances, which of course has agitated the minds of Ghanaians, to discover this quantum of money stolen by house helps in the house of a public servant raises a lot of questions. And so Ghanaians are eager to find out, one, the source of the money, and whether legitimate or not. And secondly, how such big amounts of money could be doing in somebody's residence when we have banks. And as you know, we have rules in this country. I don't know any bank that would allow for anyone to withdraw $10,000 without an alarm being triggered. So to find out that over $1 million had been stolen, over 300,000 euros and several millions of Ghana cedis raises a lot of questions. So it's not just about arresting her, but Ghanaians expect agility from the special prosecutor to get to the bottom of these issues so that we know the source of the money. Because we are in need. The country is broke. We cannot pay capitation grants. Special needs schools have not received feeding grants since January. And so, yes, we want to know the source of the money. Everything is our money. It should be made available to us, retrieved with interest.
What we want to see is a very serious investigation. And not just that, we also expect the president to, as it were, take this matter seriously. If you look at the kind of love letters that, the two of them exchange, for me, is worrisome. We were expecting the president to fire the woman. He failed in doing that. The woman resigned. And in her resignation letter, you could see the jovial nature of the content of the letter. This is an official letter, but you see her addressing the president, my dear, and all of that. One would have thought that the president would put seriousness to the whole scandal. And his letter is more scandalous than even the scandal that we're talking about. The special prosecutor, first and foremost, should not be influenced by what the president is doing. And then again, he should act swiftly by ensuring that the accounts of the woman is frozen and that her house is also ransacked, so that we know exactly what is going on.
Well, there's more on the story because some civil servants at the Sanitation and Water Resources Ministry say that Cecilia Dapaah scandal has the tendency to further erode the already fragile trust Ghanaians have in public servants. According to them, the amount of money involved in this very scandal is questionable and should be investigated. With many tight-lipped on the matter, my colleague Carlos Caloni engaged some civil servants at the ministries today on condition of anonymity and now reports.
With the news breaking that the minister has been arrested, many of the staff here have actually intensified their discussions in groups. In fact, when they heard that the OSP is likely to go to the homes of the minister, some have been saying that probably the those in charge of the security or the investigation are likely to come over to the ministry here, and so they are standing by to see if the OSP will equally come to the minister's office to more or less conduct some sort of investigation. So they have been standing around just waiting to see if that would happen. But I've also been speaking with some Ghanaians who actually decided to speak to me on condition of anonymity, and they have been expressing their utter disgust at the whole event, and they've been saying that this is actually going to affect the trust that they have in the Ghanaian politicians. So we can take a listen to what they have been telling me.
It's serious, because if she really had this amount of money in her house, then it's crazy. Because there are lots of us out there looking for jobs. We want just a means to survive, and then just one person has this lots of money in her house. I think it's not fair. We are all Ghanaians. Yes, the money is questionable. She needs to come out to talk more about it. I mean, she needs to justify why she has such an amount of money in the house. And then I keep asking myself, so if this is in the house, then how much is in the bank? And then we are here each and every year, 4 years, we go voting for same people to come. I don't think the politicians, they are different. Same people come, same people go. It's questionable. Over the weekend, I've been thinking about it, and it's crazy. Oh yes, it's going to affect. It is really going to affect, because over the weekend, I've had discussion with few colleagues and friends of mine, and it seems because of this, even not because of this, even before this issue, they've decided not to vote. They've decided not to even enter into politics or talk about it. But then this one too came, and then it's affirming their decision. Yeah, so I think it's really going to affect. How to cure, how to curb it, I don't know, because Ghanaians are fed up. Let me say, majority of us are fed up. Today, this, tomorrow, that, and we are not seeing any improvement. I was talking to someone over the weekend, and the person mentioned, since we heard that the IMF funds have been released, we've not heard any development, we've not heard of anything going on, and then this scandal just comes up. It's crazy, so I don't think it's going to be kept.
Well, a lot more individuals have been wading into the story. Former Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Nana Dapaah, is calling on President Akufo-Addo to summon Cecilia Dapaah and question her on the source of the huge sum of money stolen, allegedly, from her room.
Ghana has become a mockery. We have gone to IMF to beg for money. We have gone to other institutions to beg for money. But yet, we have a cabinet minister who can walk to the police station and report fearlessly that she has money in her bedroom, and out of that money, $1 million in cash has been stolen. Very sad day for Ghana. These are the questions. Beyond state institutions, it falls on President Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, because this is one of his cabinet ministers. And we expect him to rise up to the responsibility as president of Ghana and take up this. Where did she get $1 million? This is what we're asking Nana Addo Dankwa. Nana Addo Dankwa, His Excellency, I'm asking you directly. Ask Cecilia Dapaah, summon her, and let Ghanaians know where she got $1 million in cash, amongst other monies. I'm asking you this direct question. Answer our question. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, President of the Republic of Ghana. We Ghanaians are demanding, as citizens of Ghana, we are demanding an answer from you. We are not spectators. We are citizens of Ghana.
But an NDC Member of Parliament, Edwin Nilante van der Poel, disagrees. He wants President Akufo-Addo to keep away from the Cecilia Dapaah case and allow anti-corruption organizations to conduct an independent investigation into the matter.
If you say the person brought integrity to her office and to your government, this is a government that has lost every integrity. This is a government that has lost every modicum of respect, honesty, and also the dignity of governance. And so, I'm not surprised this has happened. This is just the fact that what Mate Amidou said about His Excellency the President is really true. And we'll just wait to see what will come out of the SPO or other actions that will be taken to safeguard the interests of our democracy and also to at least restore some dignity to we political office holders.
Well, a bit more on this because the Ghana Anti-Corruption Coalition is asking state security agencies to protect the identities of the two young girls alleged to have stolen the cash stashed at the residence of the embattled former Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources, Cecilia Dapaah. Two young ladies identified as Patience and Sarah are facing varied counts of conspiracy to commit a crime and 5 counts of stealing, including the amounts that we're hearing of, $1 million, 300,000 euros, and millions of Ghana cedis, plus some other valuable items. Although they would not object to the trial, which they say is in line with the law, the Ghana Anti-Corruption Coalition says that the identity of the girls, as much as their safety, equally matters. Beauty Nate is Executive Secretary for the Ghana Anti-Corruption Coalition.
I think before I dropped, I was talking about the need to protect the girls who are in this, the house helps who have been named, and we need to protect them because even though they are accused, they are also a prime witness in this case. So that should be done urgently. In addition to that, we also need to be interested in the asset declaration of the minister, if she has even declared sin, and what did she even declare if she happens to say that these monies are for her. And we expect that when did she amass this wealth? Was it before she came into office or after she came into office? So definitely this should reflect in her asset declaration. And if that is not also declared, then we should be interested to know the source of the money. And that source of the money, fortunately, the Office of the Special Prosecutor also has the mandate to also go after a politically exposed person. So
all residents of Kumasi are beginning to wade in and calling for a probe into the source of wealth of the embattled former Minister of Sanitation, Cecilia Dapaah. This comes into this whole saga of missing amounts of money in her home and describing the development as a possible act of corruption. The residents say that the resignation is not enough. Nana Wachi Yadom interacted with some residents in Kumasi. And of course, we thank you for spending some time with us here on Joy News Prime. We're taking a short break. When we get back, we'll bring you some more stories. Please stay. And thanks for staying with us. An autopsy report has revealed a 32-year-old man who was allegedly killed by police on Sunday died as a result of some massive blood in his abdominal cavity. The report says he also suffered some splenic rupture and blunt force trauma. The deceased, who's been identified as one of the Saladin, died after he was allegedly manhandled in a police whoop at the Gomba line in Kumasi. Some irate youth of Sokori Mampong earlier today vandalized the Asawase police station following the alleged killing on Sunday evening. Nana Yaojima was at a burial service for the deceased and filed this report.
The death of Slahadin Tafilu on Sunday evening led to an attack on Asawase police station by some irate youth. Family members and residents, many of whom had witnessed the dying moments of the young man, shed tears as the remains were being moved to burial grounds. Information that we've been able to gather so far is that the young man had taken a break from his painting job and was in a conversation with a colleague just at the spot. So it was at the time that the police had come in here for the swoop. So as usual, he attempted to run. Unfortunately, he was caught up in it. The police arrested him just at this point as he attempted to run through this area to his home. Unfortunately, the police started beating him from this point. According to the residents, they dragged him from this point through to somewhere there where they had restrained all residents from getting access to the scene.
He stood close to me here. When we heard of the swoop, he attempted to flee, but they arrested him. Immediately he fell to the ground. The policeman kicked him before he was dragged from here. I later went to where they had left him to pick him up. I then left to inform his parents of what had happened.
I check a crown, I was in Colessa Johnny Cos. I Bunama. While we can't tell me about in so be friend him. Eh, by any animal say. Eh, say.
Sometimes no young way, Anna.
Okay, so now I am Mire, because I had anybody, you know, I am Mire.
Youth in the area, infuriated by the incident, followed the police to the Asawase police station, where they pelted stones at the police station. A blaze of windows, benches and electricity meter at the police station were destroyed by the youth. Jalil says they wanted the police to return to the scene for the body of the deceased, which they had abandoned.
Because we went to the police station to call them for the body they abandoned here. We wanted them to come pick him as evidence to the crime they have perpetrated.
The youth claim this is the second time an individual has been killed in a police swoop. They want the government to call the police to order.
We want government to know we respect the police. This is why we can't fight them. We plead with government to call them to order.
The distraught family of the deceased wants the youth to exercise restraint as the police investigate the matter. Aziz Yaya speaks for the family.
Okay, I hear a lot. There are some brothers says they beat the boy, others demand that. So a lot of stories. But I sure with my negotiation with the commanders, I think we have a good news because I believe in him as our original commander.
For Joy News, Nana Yaojima reporting.
And may so rest in perfect peace. Now, farmers in the Kari and Garugu in the Talensin district of the Upper East region are calling on the government to haul contractors back to fix their One Village One dam. They say that the dams are too important to be abandoned in their current state. They want the basin of the dams deepened and also some embankment of walls firmed up and the area of the dam also widened. Jojo Kobina has more on a Hotline documentary series that we're bringing to you titled Thirsty Dams, but that will be later on the Joy News channel. We're taking a break. When we get back, we'll bring you some And it's time now for Showbiz. The beautiful Becky is here. Hello.
Oh, you said beautiful.
Yeah.
Look at you. I miss it. Why are you taking
Oh, no. We'll talk about that later.
No, I miss
good
you.
To,
Seriously,
see
good
you.
to see you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pleasant.
Oh.
Pleasant.
Okay, now let's talk about you because you had a very busy weekend.
Yeah, a lot happening at the weekend. Mama Liz is watching. She's a favorite fan of the show. So we say a very big shout out to Mama Liz. But you know, some other things that happened at the weekend. Shatawale was at UCC, thrilling patrons there. It's called the Uniland Festival.
So much energy.
I tell you. If we can have something small so that Blessed can feel.
You want me to go high, right?
I'm telling you.
Whatever that means.
Stop me. I got the news and I'll make you keep talking. How many years you want to block?
That's Shatawale.
I think.
At the weekend at UCC. You know, Black Sheriff also has been in the news.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he's been
quite a sad story for him, by the way.
But, well, obviously, he's
now
moved
a
on.
free man?
No, he's not a free man. The issue is actually back in court. He's been officially sued. But he was at the Gun SRC celebration, and this is his performance.
Wow.
Hey,
He's still in high spirits.
I tell you.
That's
No,
what's
I like.
interesting about
Can you do
that
the
whole
the
experience.
flip? I know
I
that
wish
you
I
can do
could.
that.
Yeah.
Wait,
We'll try that afterwards.
But let's move. Let me take you to US. Oh,
Okay.
I said that because, well, you were in the US.
That's right.
How was US?
No, the experience was great. You know.
I know.
You know, to the US to perform. You know, within this
it's
month.
It's summer.
Yeah, summer,
it's
right? Summertime, right?
When it's summer, you have people coming out to perform and all of that. And so, Stoneboy is actually also back in the US. Kim Promise is there. We have Kelvin Boy also there. A lot of them. They are all outside. You know, trying to boost the international tourism, and it's just right to talk about the tourism minister because he had a little meeting with, or he actually hosted the mayor of Houston.
So we're still doing beyond the return, I guess.
And so the whole process was to boost international tourism, and the Houston mayor had this to say about Ghana.
Build on that relationship of tourism, and you've asked me to consider being the ambassador for tourism, not just, for the city of Houston and beyond, to encourage Americans and others to come to Ghana. And I will tell you, just based on what I have already seen, I'm already on social media telling them they need to come. And so I fully accept that role. I'm honored to accept that role. And what I can say, the top 4 cities in the United States, the top 4, are now governed in terms of their mayor's position by African Americans. New York, Eric Adams. In Los Angeles, Karen Bass. In Chicago, Brandon Johnson.
So Dr. Mohammed Awal, who is...
Oh, the sector minister was there as well, yes.
And here's what he has to say.
The mayor has graciously accepted to be the face of tourism in the United States for Ghana. What that means is that he's going to drive tourism and development to this country. As of now, it's an average of 130,000 tourists from the U.S. every year. We want to double that in the next 2 years. With the support of the mayor and the team, we would do that. Last year, U.S. accounted for 37% of all tourists coming to Ghana, 37 being the highest. And we are hoping that with the mayor and his team's assistance, this figure will double in 2 years. We are very grateful for that.
Blessed, we have a winner for Joy Prime's cues and lyrics.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
I missed that.
Trigan is the winner.
Wow.
Okay. She has to get her winning prize, please. Can you go down?
So congratulations to her. She's going to Dubai. She has a recording deal. She's blessed.
That's why they call me blessed.
Oh, yeah.
Bars! Oh, yeah.
Bars!
Give it up for me.
And that will be all for Joy News Prime. Let me do this. Thank you very much.
Do that for me, please.
Thank you so much, guys, for joining us for Joy News Prime. Blessed, you're amazing. We'll be here tomorrow.
Oh, I hope so.
Okay, I'll see you tomorrow.
Good night, everyone.